What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. It is time for the roster update review for number 3 on the books, and holy crap, this was a banger. We always go through it right away, twitch.tv/spore. The second it drops, we want to check out the new golds and diamonds real quick, and then we do the deep dive that you see here every other week on my YouTube channel. But like I said, come out on Fridays, twitch.tv/spore. Stream every Friday, but every other Friday we do a 12-hour banger for the content drop, and this one did not disappoint in any way, shape, or form. Even if a guy or two missed that you were looking forward to, I think they covered it by, being aggressive with the diamonds that we're going to get into. So overall, I thought it was a pretty big win. Let's dive in as we do. We see a stud in Bauer getting a +1, Bieber down 1 to an 87. A lot of this movement doesn't really matter that much. You're not going to see a ton of price shifts here or anything, so we're not really that concerned with this group here. Though Brandon Woodruff gets another +1 after going diamond last time out, and Burns joins him. The only reason that he went diamond later than Woodruff was because of the little COVID IL stint that he had. Otherwise, here he is right back on track. Kershaw gets nooched, all good. Nooched just means they got a neutral upgrade, and I like to say nooched, it's fun. Strasburg down a couple, Bueller gets nooched. Nola falls. Now, Nola will definitely be one to keep an eye out for. Anytime someone loses diamond, you want to wait for their price to bottom out, kind of do a skills assessment, see where they're at. Maybe they're the next big investment to return to diamond, because believe me, just because a guy loses diamond early in the season does not mean he can't get back there. I think Nola has a really good chance to. For example, another guy who lost diamond recently is Francisco Lindor. In fact, he got hit even harder. We're going to find that out later. But even when he was at an 83, if you'd ask me between Nola and Lindor, who's going to be the better investment, I'd say Nola, because he hasn't been having a bad season. He just lost a little bit for what he's been doing and lost his diamond status, but he can get it right back with a little hot run of 3-4 starts. So keep an eye on his price, wait for it to bottom out a little bit, and then start to dive in on Nola's investment. This one was a hit. I think when you told me, or when Rory said, hey, if you like diamonds, this roster update is going to be for you, I think one of the first things I said, well, the 3 guys I predicted are locked then, and that's Lance Lynn, Nicholas Castellanos, and who was the third? And Corbin Burns. I was like, okay, those 3 are a lock then if he's saying there's going to be a ton of diamonds. And Lynn doesn't come through. So that was a little bit of a shock to me. I was like, okay, I thought he was kind of a stone cold lock after his last start. Stay invested, buy the dip, whatever you need to hear for me to convey to you that I'm not moving off of Lance Lynn. He continues to pitch like this. He's a diamond next time out in 2 weeks, June 11th. Joe Musgrove is now in focus for diamond. He's having a brilliant season. This is a guy, liked him in Houston, goes to Pittsburgh. I liked him there, even though I don't love Pittsburgh. And I was like, this guy has breakout top line stuff. And it never really showed up in Pittsburgh, so he goes to San Diego, better team, not just from a standpoint of their record, but they are better at development too. And I'm like, maybe this is the breakout year. And so far, it looks like it is. His strikeouts are finally on point. If you ever watched Joe Musgrove when he was with Pittsburgh, you'd be like, this guy can strike out a ton of batters. Why doesn't he? And I don't really know what it was. I don't want to put it all on Pittsburgh. It's easy to kind of do the whole, well, he leaves Pittsburgh and now he's good thing. It was all them. I don't know. Maybe it's just development that he would have eventually hit with Pittsburgh as well. But either way, he's here now, and now he's 2 points away from diamond along with this guy. These two are both very much in focus for the next big diamonds at the starting pitcher position, pardon me. Lynn, of course, is there as well, but then these two are just a couple points away. Their prices are going to start to rise big time. Gosman's still 3 points away, so I don't necessarily see him getting there yet, but he's been excellent now dating back to last year when he first signed on with the Giants. I would be remiss to not at least say that he's in the realm and he needs to be on our radar. I would do a straight ranking here of diamond capability with Lynn, Musgrove, Glasnow in that order, and then Gosman, Wheeler, Urias, and Ryu. They're all 82s. Ryu got nooched. I would rank them as, I'd probably go for diamond potential, and these are long shots. I think these guys are I'd say likely, to be honest. I believe in all 3 of them. These guys are a little bit more long shot. I would rank them Wheeler, Ryu, Gausman, Urias. And I really like Urias. I might like his raw talent most of the four, but I worry about the Dodgers still coddling him. Now, I have said on record on my pod in an article, I think they're going to take the reins off this year. That's my feeling, but I don't know for sure. So I am still a little bit nervous about that because they are the Dodgers. You look up one day and they're going to have like 8 capable starting pitchers. I know right now they're running a little light. David Price is actually going back in the rotation, but Gonsolin's coming back. I know they lost May for the year. I hope they just let Urias pitch. He's been around for a while now. I think he's built up to where he should at least be able to get 150 plus innings. And so we'll see. But I think Gausman, Wheeler, and Ryu aren't in danger of any of that sort of, being sat for a week, skipped a turn, even though they're not hurt type of stuff. So that's why Urias has to check in last here, just because of what the Dodgers do with their pitchers. I'm trying to talk way too fast. I'm way too excited about the content today. Ohtani gets nooched. Listen, he's not going to go diamond unless he just goes on a streak of not walking guys for like 6-7 starts. Because just to reiterate, in case you haven't heard in previous weeks, the hitting stats do nothing for his overall. They're decoration. They're great for us to use his card, but they're decoration for his overall. You can have all 99s, you can have all zeros. Nothing changes as far as being an SP. A couple obvious golds here with Means and Rodon. We knew they were going to get there after this week. The last week, we thought they could actually make a 4-point jump into gold. They both get the 79, 78 treatment, respectively. They make their jump this week. Freddie Peralta gets a little bit more love. He just continues to beast out. McCullers gets nooched because it's not really an upgrade for his per nines. It's his arsenal that gets an upgrade, and I like that they're keeping focused on arsenal, pitch changes, things like that can improve the card for our purposes on the field. Kluber goes to gold, then gets hurt. That's just shitty, man. That sucks. He had the no-hitter, obviously got the tops now as well. He gets gold, so he kind of gets the upgrades that we were hoping with everything, but now we have to wait and see what's going to happen with him health-wise. Sonny Gray's on the cusp of losing his gold, but he's actually been stabilizing a little bit, so I don't know that he's necessarily going to lose it. I think he's going to start his turnaround and actually might work his way back up into the mid-80s. Probably not diamond right now, though. We could talk about that way down the line once he chisels that whip down from 130. Pineda gets a 1-point upgrade, and I have a tortured history with Pineda, dating back mostly to the fantasy realm, where I would buy in on him and believe that this was going to be the year that his strikeouts and walks were going to set him to the next level, but the home runs were always lurking and always there to spoil an outing or to ruin his ERA a little bit or just to keep him from jumping to that next level. And I worry that we might have the same here. He has a 1.8 homer per 9, and that's the quickest way to ruin a hot streak, is to have like a 4 home run outing where you give up 6-7 runs or something. So I do worry about that, but Pineda is in the hold for gold realm at this point. He's pitching remarkably well. His strikeouts are trending over a strikeout per inning. If he holds that for another 3-4 starts here, I think he goes gold next update, barring any sort of implosion. So start to get your Pineda shares going now. Snell, my man, takes the -2, loses his gold stature. He went viral for freaking out about being an 82. He's really not going to like this one. Basset Hounds, stand up. Do not worry. His shutout yesterday, Thursday, May 27th, depending on when you're watching this, did not count for the update. That's already locked and loaded by then. So do not worry. He was not robbed. It didn't really look like he was going to get there this week anyway, because, of course, we knew Thursday's start wasn't going to count. I thought he'd go to 79. It doesn't really matter, though. He got a little love. He gets nooched. He's 2 points away. He keeps pitching like this. He's a gold. Hold, buy more, whatever you need to hear. I'm fully in on Bassett. I'm a Bassett hound, baby. Jordan Montgomery. Speaking of guys, I mentioned this with Musgrove, guys that I've been with for a while, and Pineda, as far as really liking them and following their career trajectory. When he first came on the scene, he was really good, and I thought he was going to kind of be, I don't want to say the next big thing. I thought he was going to be a good pitcher, but it would have turned into a bigger thing because he's a New Yorker, or because he's a Yankee. I don't know if he's actually from New York, but I was worried, the hype, when a Yankee does well, they can kind of skyrocket a little bit and the price can go crazy. Well, then injuries hit him up and down, did some things last year, started to hit the radar a little bit, but was still very affordable in fantasy. And now he's kind of having that breakout season that I've been waiting for. 2 points here. You see the ERA is a little high, but look at the whip and the underlying skills. I think he's got a chance at gold this year. I'm going to start investing in some Jordan Montgomerys for the long term. Long term in this case, meaning one of the next 2 updates. So June 11th and June 25th. And I'm going to do another update of the sheet, the Hold for Gold sheet, available to my subscribers on Twitch, twitch.tv/Spore, where I just take all the silvers that are ranked like 77 and higher, and I include a few choice 76s and 75s if I see fit that they can go gold soon, and I give them a 1 to 10 rating based on their likelihood of going gold within the next 2 updates, which again will be the June 11th and June 25th updates once I update it next week. And Jordan Montgomery will be on there with like a 7 or 8 rating, because I really think that if he pitches well, especially if he keeps those strikeouts going up, then he's going to be an easy gold in the near term. Zach Greinke gets nooched. I think he's starting to turn it around a little bit. I think he'll eventually hit gold at some point again this year. I'm probably not going to invest in him yet, though, because I don't know, man. I think he's going to meander his way there. Like, he might not get back there until like the All-Star break, because he's not a big strikeout guy, as we know. His hit rate, I think, will come down. He's still good. He's still very good. And like I said, I do believe he'll get back to gold at some point this year. I just don't know if I want to deal with kind of the trudge that it might be, because it could take 3 updates, maybe even 4, because he'll have like 3 good starts, a dud. 3 good starts, a dud. And if the dud does too much damage, then we kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back type of deal. And it can be, again, a trudge back to gold for him. Savale, again, I know we're waiting for this. He had a big outing against the Tigers. Shutout for him. Or wait, I think it was... No. Did they finish that shutout? I think they gave up a run. But either way, it was a very good outing for Savale against the Tigers. I think he even had 9 Ks in it as well. And that's what we're looking for on him. Every time out, we're like, can you get some more Ks? Can you get some more Ks? He's got a 7.0 K rating right now. That's not very good. He went 8 innings, and they gave up 1 run. But he had 6 strikeouts in 8 innings, which for him is pretty good. Like, it's not that good. You really want a strikeout per inning, but we'll take an 8-inning gem. I don't want to be too picky. And honestly, while the strikeouts will be the easiest way for Savale to get there, don't think that he can't get to gold just on hits and BB per 9, because he absolutely can. So stay fully invested on Savale, buy the dip, etc., etc. Oof. This one's tough, man. I thought he was turning it around there. He had a big start against Texas that looked like kind of the catalyst to start turning things around, but it just hasn't happened, and now he's out of gold. So, I was thinking maybe he could work his way back into being a diamond the way he was last year, but now we got to focus on getting him back to gold. Like Greinke, I think he will eventually get back this year, but he has a lot more work to do, so I'm talking like 4 updates down the line, to the point where I'm not even investing right now. Robert Ray, dude, wrote him up earlier this week because he's had a complete turnaround to where he's not walking anybody, which is completely new for him. And I know the Yankees ripped him a little bit, and that's fine. That's kind of a standard regression start. Difficult environment, quality lineup. I know they're beat up, but don't tell me that going to face the Yankees in Yankee Stadium is easy just because they're missing a few guys and they're having a little bit of underperformance. You still got plenty of power in that lineup that you have to be careful with, and he got beat up a little bit, so it's whatever. I will say, I've talked about how I have a tortured history with guys like Pineda, and who else did I say? Montgomery. It's not as tortured with Ray. I've just been consistently out on him. Even when he's been good, I'm like, no, I don't really believe it. And it's because he's a walk and home run machine. Well, this year, he's only a home run machine. So, that's improvement, but he's still a home run machine. And he gave up 2 more yesterday. He's given up a home run in all but 1 of his outings. So I like the walks, but I don't know, y'all. I'm not personally going to invest in Robbie Ray. He's only 2 points away. There's definitely a chance that he gets it. I'll probably give him like a 7 on the hold for gold sheet, but I'm personally not going to invest in him just because I am scared based on these home runs that he could plummet. Or implode is what I meant. I think he could totally implode here. So be careful. If you want to get in, sure, but understand that there's risky nature here, even though he's only 2 points away. Alcantara is one of 3 silver Marlin starters that I'm holding for gold right now with Alcantara, Lopez, and Trevor Rogers. That's it. I'm holding all three of them right now. I'm not buckling at all. I'd have to see a lot for me to be nervous about any of them. And you see Rogers on this list. He went up another 2 points. Christian Javier just went to the bullpen because they have an influx of starters with Framber Valdez and Jake Odorizzi returning. And I was surprised that he was the one to get murked over Luis Garcia. Not that I necessarily thought one deserved it more than the other. I just thought the newer guy, the one with less major league experience in Garcia, would be the one to go to the bullpen. But they chose Javier, maybe because he already has some major league bullpen experience. But dude, that Astros team, and they still have McCullers and Urquidy. So when they get those two back, Javier, Garcia, Greinke, Framber, and Odorizzi, they're going to have 7 viable starters, which means 2 will be in the bullpen. What's been their biggest weakness this year? Bullpen. So they're going to be strengthening their bullpen with their starting pitching surplus. So that doesn't really do much for us with Javier. In fact, I would not invest in him right now because when he goes to RP next update, he's going to lose points just from the SP to RP shift. So he'll probably go back down to like 75 or even 74, and that'll kind of fuck us up for him getting upgraded. So that's kind of a bummer for him, but maybe Luis Garcia is somebody that we start to look at. I don't know if he's on this update. I'll take a look and I'll give an assessment on him when we get to that. Rich Hill, he's back, baby. He had a beautiful outing last time out. Here's the thing. We know Rich Hill can be good. It's a matter of if he's healthy or not. Problem is, he's rarely ever healthy. I think he just had his 57th birthday, so happy birthday to him. He's still out there doing his thing at 57, and I respect it. He is in the hold for gold realm, probably a 7 or 8 on the hold for gold chart. I will say, though, I have some nerves related to him just because of the health. With Ray, it's because of the skills. With Rich Hill, it's because of the health. So if you're not comfortable with that kind of volatility to where he could get injured and push everything back 2 weeks just on health alone, then don't invest. If you don't mind more of a risky investment that can pay off, then go ahead and start getting your Rich Hills because he has a chance to go gold. He's been there before. He can get there again. T-Raj, I just mentioned it with the Marlins. I'm holding. His price has been sky high for fucking 4 weeks now, a month. Like basically out of the gate after that first update, his price went through the roof, and he's just going to be sitting relative to a bronze. I think he was like 600. So people are already in on hold for gold, but you can probably still have a little wiggle room to get in. Maybe if it's 600 and below. If you don't already have Trevor Rogers, then you must be new to the channel. That's the only thing I can figure because I've been beating the Trevor Rogers drum literally all year. So hopefully you're already in. We're riding this one out, baby. Eduardo gets downgraded a little bit. He hasn't been very good, so he's not going gold anytime soon. Zach Eflin's been pitching pretty well for the Phillies, giving them a nice third starter there behind Nola and Wheeler. Nice little trio that they have. He's still a good ways away from gold to this point, and you can look at 2 clear indicators, right? He's given up over a hit per inning with 67 in 63 innings, and he's just under a strikeout per inning. We'll call it a strikeout per inning with the rounding up, okay? But he needs to improve both of those to have any chance at gold. So you can keep a close eye on those every outing. And if he's 7 innings, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, that's a great outing. You know, if he starts putting together stuff like that, you'll know to start to invest in him. I think it's early to go right now. If you want to ground floor this one, he's got an opportunity. But I'm not fully sold that he's going to get there. I'd rather pay the premium for Trevor Rogers than the discount on Zach Eflin in terms of the likelihood of them going gold. Manaya's been pitching up and down. He gets nooched here. I don't really see gold for him. Marco, I believe, is still on the IL, and he hasn't been pitching very well. Alzolay is pitching right now and doing quite well. He's pitching for the Cubs on Friday afternoon. 5 2/3, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. He's been a badass. Oh, that should have been another strikeout. Holy smokes. What a great pitch. That should have been his 7th strikeout to close out the 6th inning. He got robbed there. At any rate, he's pitching remarkably well. It would be super early to get in on the hold for gold, so I probably wouldn't do that just yet, but he's very much on my watch list. I'm keeping very close tabs on Alzolay. I also got him in a few fantasy leagues, so he's doing well for me there. They're showing the replay on this pitch, man. It was nasty. Robo-umps now. This one pain. I can't talk. I'm not in an emotional space to talk about this right now, okay? Kyle Hendricks goes down 3. I think he's actually turning things around a little bit, but he's now 5 points away from gold, so it's going to be a while. By the way, it looks freezing in Chicago right now. It's just one of those windy, late spring, early summer afternoons that looks nasty as hell. And he's coming out after that? That's so unfair, dude. Because now these runs are probably going to score. Oh, he deserves better. That was such a good pitch. Anyway, sorry. This game's going to be long done before anybody even sees this video, and I'm like reacting to it live. Sorry. John Gray gets nooched, whatever. Josh Gibson. Kyle Gibson goes to silver, which is awesome, but his potential at gold is going to have to wait because he has a groin injury now, which really sucks. So we'll revisit him when he gets back healthy. He has been pitching very well. He's a big meme on my podcast. I made a random joke one time that he cuts my grass. It's hard to explain, but anyway, he's been pitching very well, and if he comes back pitching the way he was before he got hurt, then we'll talk gold with him. Domingo Germán gets to silver, and he is in the hold for gold realm. He's a long way out, 5 points off, so he's probably going to get a 4 or 5 on this week's update, but we're keeping him very much on the watch list. He's got the raw skills to get to gold because he misses bats, limits hits, and his walk rate's been pretty great this year, so keep a close eye on Domingo Germán. Turnbull doesn't quite get to silver. He pitches against the Yankees this weekend. That will not be easy, but a big start there could work him down the path toward getting silver next time out. Luis Patino changes position, loses his stamina. Wait, you brought him back to starter and you curbed his stamina? That doesn't seem fair. Now, I think it's because he's been like an opener type. I totally get it. But usually you see the stamina hit when they go from SP to RP, not the other way around. But I think he's pitching very small outings, and that's why they did that. 3 1/3, 4, 3, 2, 2 2/3. So I get it. It just looks funny when they come to SP and they get smoked for stamina. Keuchel loses his silver. He hasn't been great. He'll probably get back to silver at some point, but who cares? Marquez is now in bronze. Yoicks. Waino could go silver. He's pitching quite well this year. Is there really an investment opportunity for that? Probably not. Ryan Weathers gets a position change and an update. He is definitely in the silver realm. He's been pitching remarkably well for the Padres. If you like to save for silver, then Weathers is definitely somebody to take a look at now. Corbin gets murked. He goes to bronze. He's been brutal, dude. And I got to be honest, y'all, I don't see a path forward right now. I don't know what needs to change. I don't know if he needs a phantom IL, clear your head type of deal, where you can always say there's something wrong, right? I forget which ball player said it. I'm sure a lot have said it. But basically, once the season starts, everybody's got something that you could feasibly hit the IL for and say, like, he's got a bruised toe or he's got a sore elbow, whatever the case is. So there's always something. They might ask him, do you want to take 10 days and just kind of breathe a little bit, maybe get his mind right? I don't know what it is, but he didn't do very well last year. He's been worse this year, and it's a bummer to see because good Patrick Corbin was really fun to watch with that Scherzer and Strasburg. That trio was super dominant. Strasburg's back now. Scherzer's been a god. If they could get Corbin going, they might even be able to do something because they've had a disastrous season to this point, but they're still only 4 games under 500, and they're actually still in the division hunt, but they need somebody like Corbin to really turn it around because they just don't have enough pitching depth. Position change only here for Junis. Kikuchi gets a little love. He could go silver. He's starting to pitch the way a lot of his proponents have been talking about for a while. The aforementioned Luis Garcia gets a little boost. I think he's still a little short on what he needs. I think he should already be silver, to be quite honest. So he's definitely a save for silver right now. Where did I have him going? Did I even have him for an update? I might have missed him, to be honest. Yeah, I didn't even have him on my list. I should have, though. He only got 1 point, but I should have put him on the silver upgrade. Even though it would have been wrong, I think he's pitched well enough to be a silver. So he's going to be a key save for silver. My boy Frankie gets nooched. I think he'll go silver at some point this year too. If you listen to my pod, I'm a huge Montas fan. I still fully believe in his stuff. And frankly, if you look at his season right now, if you just take off that first start, and when I do that, it's not to say that it doesn't count, but it's to kind of get an idea of how he's been pitching from a certain time. His first start was against the Dodgers. I just checked. They're a pretty good team. He gave up 7 runs in 2 2/3 against them. Since then, he has 50 1/3 innings of a 3.93 ERA with 52 strikeouts and 13 walks. He does have 53 hits, so it's over a hit per inning. So he still hasn't been elite since then, but he's pitched very well overall. He has one other dud start against Minnesota where they got him for 6 runs, including 3 home runs. So overall, I definitely think Montas will get to silver this year. Casey Mize goes up 1. He doesn't K a lot of guys, but he can still get to silver on the strength of hits, walks, and homer per 9 ratings. Velasquez goes up just 1 though. He's actually been pitching well. I am nervous with him. He would fall very much into the Pineda category. Actually, he's probably more Robbie Ray in that he's perfect for Pineda. Tortured history with him where I want to buy in because I love the raw stuff. But then every time I buy in with any sort of like long-term potential, he fizzles back out. So I'm nervous on this one. I wouldn't invest. Like, first off, most people don't really invest a ton for silver or for bronze to silver upgrades anyway. But if you are somebody who does like to do that, I would be careful with Velasquez because he probably still is who he's always been. And he's probably just pitching well because look at that ERA and whip. That's a too high of a whip to go with that ERA, meaning the ERA is almost certainly going to come up. Shoemaker down. Kaprelian gets a fat jump. Yo, I think I undersold him. I had him going to 69, which would have been nice, but he goes 2 points higher. He's been awesome. Don't sleep on Kaprelian for silver. And then if he gets to silver, we'll talk gold down the line. He could be a summer gold, like a July, August type. Don't forget him. He was a number 1 pick, a first-round pick for the Yankees many moons ago. Injuries completely derailed him. He got traded out to Oakland a few years ago, stayed injured with them. So he's had a tough time getting here. But now that he's finally here and healthy, he's showing why he was a first-round pick 42 years ago. Tanner Houck gets a little love. Is he in the majors right now? If he is, that completely escaped my radar. I thought he was in the minors still. Yeah, he is. So why this upgrade now? I mean, he had 10 innings, as you can see here, with only 1 walk, so they wanted to give him some big walk rate love. The last time he pitched in the majors was April 18th. So, I mean, I guess better late than never, but whatever. Nick Tropiano position change. Nothing that we're going to see too crazy here, so I'm going to speed through the rest of these. I will keep an eye on Widener, though, when he gets back from the IL because he's been pitching well, but he's hurt right now, so don't worry about it. Pavetta, I do have to say something about because he is pitching well. The Braves looked like they were starting to get to him, his old nemesis from the NL East days. But he settled down in that outing and still ended up pitching pretty well. I got to say, this is probably a little short. He should probably already be a 72, 73 knocking on the door of silver. So, again, if you like to do save for silver, Pavetta is pitching well. I will give him credit. He definitely is in that Pineda Velasquez conversation for me as somebody that I've believed in. In fact, the whole fantasy community has believed in Nick Pivetta at some point. You're lying if you've said that you have never, ever believed in Nick Pivetta. You're just lying. Davies gets merged, Sanchez, Gomber. Again, I'm looking for anything that might be worth talking about here. Not too much that we really need to dive in on these lower tier guys. So, yeah. I think that's going to be it for the starters. And who are the new starters? Wait, Chirinos wasn't in the game? What? Okay. Manoah comes in as a 71. I'm sure everyone's already freaking out. Oh, did you see what he did yesterday? This card was made before yesterday's start. And they also come in cautious on rookies, as they should, okay? The one time they went out on a limb, I respected it. I thought it was deserved based on all the prospect hype and everything he'd done in the minors. They went gold for Vlad out of the gates. And he fizzled, for the first year plus. He's obviously shown why he was so highly regarded. Now he's fully breaking out. He went diamond this week. Spoiler alert. We're going to get to that. But For the most part, it's very smart to be cautious with rookies. He went 71 to start. If he pitches like he did against the Yankees, he's going to be silver on June 11th. You mark that one down. But we'll keep a close eye on Manoah. That was a fun start yesterday for him. Corbin Martin, Logan Gilbert, a couple other guys. Cody Poteet, he's been pitching well for the Marlins. I don't know that his ceiling is much more than like low 70s, whereas I think Manoah could actually get to gold at some point this year, and Martin and Gilbert are more silver potential. All right, moving on to RP. Karinchak gets nooched. Gallegos +1. I'm still keeping very close eye on him. I think Gallegos can get to diamond this summer. I really do. I think he's been pitching. I think he should have come into this year as like an 83, to be honest. That's where I'm at on him. It's one of my bigger disagreements with SDS is I think they don't give Gallegos enough love based on his career with the Cards. But he's an 83 now, so he's only 2 points away. And so we just need a ton of Ks and no walks, and we'll get there. I think that K rate needs to be closer to 12 per 9 for them to start bumping it up. But it also works if he just continues to allow 0 hits. You know, don't forget there's still 17 points of hit 9 he can get. I don't think he'll go up to 125 on the year, but that room is there to grow. Chris Martin gets position changed. He was the closer on the team for some reason. Stammen. Could Stammen go gold? Yeah, he could, especially with the strikeout rate that he has right now. If he holds that, I mean, Stammen's been around forever, and he's finally getting some strikeouts going. So he's 3 points away. He's gonna get a 7 on the gold radar next week. About probably a 7. Now here's one. Here we go, y'all. This is Trevor Rogers-esque for me. This is a guy I was in on from day one. I got a shit ton of shares, and I'm riding all the way to gold. Silver, cool. That's cute. Don't care. I'm holding. Diamond hands, baby. Although that implies that I think you can get to diamond. I'm just doing the GameStop thing. Hold for gold all day with TJ Antone. Stanek goes down, Trinan nooched, Hudson. Huddy gets a big upgrade, only 3 points though. He's gonna get to silver if he keeps pitching like this. And if it's like this, which I don't think it'll be quite this great, but if he continues to pitch very well, then I think gold could be a potential for Daniel Hudson down the line. Let's get him to silver first, but he is pitching remarkably well after a down season last year. It was 2 months. Tepera does not go silver. But the way he's going to get silver next time out with these kind of skills. Wasn't Duffy a gold to start the season, or am I tripping on that? Coonrod gets +3. He got blasted in his last outing, but he's been great overall this year. He should get to silver if he continues to pitch the way he has been. Matzik +1. Bradley position change. Givens. Chafin. Chafin gets murked. His K rate. Okay, so this gives us a good indication that, strikeout and a half, or not, that's not how that would work. Sorry. 9.5 strikeouts per 9 is about something in the low to mid 70s, which I always thought, but this gives good confirmation because he lost 10 points down to a 72 with a 9.5 mark. Because for a reliever, a strikeout per inning, it doesn't really move the needle right now. You got to be getting fucking 15 strikeouts per 9 type of shit to really move the needle. And that's why we need Gallegos to bump up 10.8. Like, that's good, but to really hit into the 80s, we need 12, 13 per 9. So Chafin does lose a little bit here in getting nooched because, well, I'll take the hit 9 over the K9 to be honest. It's neutral. I mean, just like the move implies, I guess. And he'll still be usable in BR. Kittredge gets a little love. I mean, he is pitching remarkably well, but I don't even know that I care that he could maybe go silver, but whatever. Genesis Cabrera. Okay. Listen, far be it for me to tell SDS how to do their job, but I thought they cared about putting out a good game. Sorry, Ramon. I thought you cared. You obviously don't, okay? Fix your game, dude, okay? You guys are going to be all like, oh, this content drop. It's so good. I love SDS. Y'all are sheep, okay? Because Genesis Cabrera doesn't even have his blue glove in the game. So is it even a good game? Okay? It's like, if you're not going to get the details right, don't even make a game, SDS. Leave it to fucking Tap Sports. I bet they have a blue glove for Genesis Cabrera. Sorry, I got heated there, but I gotta keep them accountable to the things that they're doing incorrectly. And Genesis Cabrera with a red glove is horseshit. And frankly, I don't even know if I want to finish the stream. I'll tough it out for you guys, but I'm fucking steamed. Stupid joke, I know. Genesis Cabrera is pitching his ass off, by the way. I wouldn't have memed so hard if I didn't also have some things to say about him. He is pitching really well. I could definitely see him getting silver. That bullpen is becoming a problem. You guys already know I just gushed all about Gallegos. I love him. Reyes, if he could just get the walks down a little bit, but he's unhittable. So even with all those walks, and then Cabrera, whew, they've got some nastiness coming out of that bullpen. And Helsley got out of a huge jam yesterday. I mean, that's one outing, but like he's pretty nasty too. Fairbanks was listed under closer for some reason. Romano probably should be again, but he's going to start to go up too. He's only got 17 2/3 this year because he missed some time, but he's going to get to silver, I think, pretty quickly if he continues to pitch like this. He's back. He got a save. I think he saved Manoah's game. And, I mean, you see the skills. You saw what he did last year. He should be silver in relatively short order. And I think Romano could be a long-term gold. So if you want to get in super ground floor, Romano is somebody. You got to be super, super patient, though. I'm talking All-Star break, trade deadline. So mid to late July. Because it's a reliever. They need a lot. They need multiple updates because they don't pitch a ton every 2 weeks, you know? So it'll take a little while, but I do love Romano's skills. Just stay healthy, please. Draftneck Mark getting an upgrade. Good on him. Chatwood. Chatwood pitching kind of well. Good for him. Who cares, though? Richard Blyer, Jeffrey Springs, Josh James gets a position change only there. So there it is, 4 points just going SP to RP. So remember I was talking about Luis Garcia is probably going to go to RP next update. Christian Javier, not Garcia, Christian Javier. So he's going to lose 4 points off RIT, which is tough, but that's just the way it is. Jimmy Nelson, we're not going to spend too much time here. I don't want to get bogged down in too many of these guys. Tyler Rogers is pitching well, and he is their guy right now in San Francisco, but he's really capped because he couldn't strike me out. Now, I would roll over a 2-mile-an-hour ground ball to Evan Longoria, but he doesn't get strikeouts. So it's really going to cap what he can do. He could maybe finagle silver, but I don't even know if that's possible without sending his hits in BB9 sky high. Like, I think those both have to get into maybe at least one of them would have to get into triple digits for him to get gold with a 43 K9. So, silver, not gold. I don't think he has a chance at gold. Nothing to see here. JP Fireeisen got moved from Milwaukee to Tampa Bay in the Willy Adames deal. Keep an eye on him. He's started to show some really good skills last year with Milwaukee. He was going to be kind of their next big reliever. They've become a reliever factory. So they trade him in this deal here. You know, Tampa Bay, another reliever factory. So he goes from one to the other. I think he's going to continue his trajectory. He could get silver. But as you can see, he lost some walk rate. He has 11 walks and 22 in the third. He's going to need to cut the walk rate if he's going to get there. Bednar was somebody I loved coming into the year as like one of these middle relievers that you can get in a deep fantasy league who can really help you out because his ratios are great and he has a great strikeout rate. In fact, I wrote him up in my piece at Fangraphs called Finding the Next Devin Williams. I thought he could be a candidate to be that. He's been killing it. So they finally give him some big love. He started off a little bumpy. I think he had runs allowed in like 2 of his first 4 outings or something. So it was a little junky to start, but he has smoothed out. He's been awesome. I think he's a definite silver at some point this year. And then once we get to that point, depending on when that is, we can talk gold for Bednar. But I'm not ruling out a gold. Finally, when Montero's pitching like shit, they upgrade him. This was one I did not understand, guys. We've talked about Montero probably way more than anybody has because he was a common reliever. But I didn't understand why he came in so low this year. If you look at what he did with Texas in 19 and 20, why wasn't he already like a medium bronze, like with a 71 rating? I think the 65 is still very low. Of course, this year it looks justified because he's pitching like shit recently. But to that point, he'd been really good. So at least he finally got updated into bronze, which he deserved. Now if he can start to pitch more like he did in 1920 and early 21, then we can get him into, somewhere in the 70s. But man, they took forever on that one. And I don't really know who he pissed off over at SDS to not get the love. Just looking for names here that might be of interest down the line. I'm going to bring up Zach Pop here. This is a nice one. I wish I'd have promoted him a little bit heavier because I like these common to bronzes when they get a shit ton of points because they cost you nothing and they're great for affinity exchanges. So he slipped through the cracks a little bit, and I apologize for that. I should have had y'all ready for him because he's got disgusting stuff, and I think he could even go higher to where he might even be contending for silver down the line. I think he's from the Dodgers. I'm going to see how they got him. I think it might have been like Rule 5. But he was a prospect of some note back in the day. And I say back in the day as if he's not that old. But he was drafted in 2017. So it's been a little while. He made his way from the Dodgers to the Marlins in... It was a Rule 5 draft. Oh, wait. Drafted by the okay. He went from the Dodgers to the Orioles in the Manny Machado deal. And then the Diamondbacks drafted him in the Rule 5 draft off the Orioles and promptly traded him to the Marlins. And this happens a lot. You don't have a pick as high as you want. You tell a team, hey, you taking anyone in the Rule 5? They say, nah, those guys are garbage. We say, oh, yeah, we totally agree. But if you took Zach Pop, we might give you... I don't know, a pack of playing cards for him or something. And that's what happens. That happens a ton in the Rule 5 draft. And he's been good. His ERA is a little high at 4.32, but the .96 whip, 20 strikeouts and 16 2/3, and he has nasty, nasty stuff. That's why I think Zach Pop could actually become part of this Marlins bullpen, like a big part of this Marlins bullpen. He throws 95, which who doesn't these days, but he has a 14% swinging strike rate. That's really, really good. So keep an eye on Zach Pop. Anybody else? Not really. What a name. What a name to have and be like a, mediocre MLBer. I mean, hey, being the shittiest MLBer is still being a fucking MLBer, and so that's good. But when your last name is Scrub, I mean, I will say this though. Yeah, the jokes are obvious, but at that point, if you're not creative, then I'm gonna roast you if I'm Andre Scrub. I'll be like, that's all you got? You called me a scrub? It's on my jersey. Like, that's the best you could do, So I'll just embarrass the fans that were shitting on me that way if I were Andre Scrub. Position change and a hit. That's devastating for Lindblom. Tough scene there. And then nothing else here really to see. Oh, wait. How'd this guy not get any love? I actually gave him an upgrade from 55 to 62 because I thought he would get boosted. Nabil, what the hell did they do to you, my man? They position changed you, and all they did was cost you points. He didn't get any love for what he's been doing? I guess he hasn't been that good. Whatever. Far be it for me to waste my time on the fucking commons that didn't get upgraded. That's an outrage. It's an absolute outrage, y'all. All right. Oh, wait. Any new relievers? Nobody of note right now. Stetson Ali, I remember when he was a big draft pick. He can hit a little bit too, apparently. I guess he kept choosing the pitching route, though. He's been around for a minute. All right, closers time. No new closers. Chapman gets nooched. Nick Anderson, position change. Barnes. Yo, Barnes. I don't know how much money you could have won for me if you had told me that Barnes would be in the ballpark for Diamond at some point this year. I just would have looked at you dumbfounded like, huh? But hey, here he is. And the key to this is where you see he got that third upgrade, the BB9 +4. He has 5 walks in 23 innings. This Diamond potential is real because he's not walking guys. If he was still walking everybody, then I'd be like, okay, guys, he's probably going to cap out here as the walks catch up to him. But he's not. So he is very much in the Diamond conversation, which I never thought I'd be saying this year. Kimbrel gets +1. I don't really see Diamond for him right now, but even he is in the realm. He finished last year very nicely, and he's carrying it over so far this year. And look who's going to visit us. Oh, hey, Shar, what's up? How'd you do this update? Hello guys, it's me, Shar from SharInvestments.com. Just $40 a day. I told you guys that Max Muncy was going to go diamond, and you didn't believe me. And now you owe me $40. Okay, SharInvestments.com. Bye. All right. Always love our bi-weekly commercial from Charlotte. If you guys are paying $40 a day for her site, fuck y'all. I charge $5 a month for a Twitch subscription, and I just don't think that you should be paying her. But she's making tons of money. So some of you guys out there are giving my dog money for shitty up. I doubt she called Muncie. Okay. I can't even go to her website. She blocked my IP address, but whatever. Anyway, Kenley Jansen gets smoked. If you were holding out hope that he could sneak into Diamond, down the line this year, that has become less likely. Here's a hold for gold. My boy Rich Rod, he's been killing it. I wish the strikeouts were there, though. He does have strikeout capability, so this might just be a little blip, and if he starts to get those punchies, he's going to go gold easily. But right now, that's what we need, because you can see the hits 9 is, I don't want to say maxed out, but it's really freaking high, and the BB9 is quite good, too. He only has 1 walk. So he can get there off hits and walks alone, but if we really want to accelerate this, then just strike a few guys out, by all means, please. We got nooched here. They took his stamina away, which we knew was going to happen. It was fun while it lasted. I only got 2 BR runs with him on that huge stamina as a silver, which was still pretty cool, though. He does get a little love, but it's going to take a little while because he's currently hurt. So once he comes back, Kendall Graveman is very much a hold for gold. I'll check the timetable when I do the roster, or when I do the hold for gold updated list to see where he's at. If he's returning soon, then he's going to be like an 8 or 9, maybe even a 10 if it's really soon. If there's no timetable or he's not coming back for another 2-3 weeks, then it's probably going to be closer to a 5 or 6 just based on time. But I will say, just hold your Gravemans regardless right now, because skills-wise, he's on his way. It's just a matter of getting him healthy and back on the field. Diego's back in the cut. Man, if you've been following the investment game for a while now, you know that Diego has taunted us for years. And looks like this year is no different. And now he's on the cusp yet again. He's not walking, guys. He's missing bats. There's a potential. He absolutely needs to be held for gold at this point. Bradwick Hand loses 3 points, gets murked out of gold. Now, this doesn't do much for us with an investment standpoint, but I want to mention this for my fantasy folks out there. You can see Hand getting a downgrade. His numbers aren't terrible. 344, 120. That's not the end of the world. But lately in May, he's been awful. We could see Daniel Hudson take over that job. So if you are in fantasy and you're speculating for saves, take a look at Daniel Hudson, because Brad Hand is losing his grip on that job. I know y'all want Mark Melancon to go gold. I get so many questions about him, which surprises me, because I feel like it's obvious that he's going to have a hard time getting there because he's never struck out anybody, and he's not doing it this year either. So I respect the talent. He's a beast for the Padres, and they're doing the exact right thing. He's not their best reliever, but he's capable enough to handle the 9th, and their best relievers are available for the 6th through 8th innings for those fires that come up to get it to the 9th to ensure that they still have the 3-run lead when they go to Melancon. So, he's a legit-ass closer in real life and everything, but as far as going gold, I just don't think I see it because he doesn't miss bats. Ian Kennedy's been an absolute G for the Texas Rangers. He's going to get traded because he's like 36 years old and they have no business keeping him. That doesn't mean that he can't go gold, though. The way he's pitching right now, he is on the hold for gold landscape for sure. Jake Diekman gets nooched. He's actually cutting his walks, which is huge. There is a path to gold, but I feel like he's so inconsistent with the walk rate that I'm not ready to believe in this newfound walk rate. So I would not invest heavily in Jake Diekman, because the second that we do, he's going to go out and walk 4 in an outing and completely erase all the good that he's done. His walk rate is at 3.8 this year, which is actually worthy of an upgrade because he was at 5.1 last year and 5.7 the year before that. So 4 walks is still a lot. Let me just say that, okay? So I like Diekman. He's good for MLB The Show. I'll tell you what, though. In previous years, I wanted him to get upgraded to gold because it would make him a very usable gold for BR and everything. Now that they came out with that flashback gold, I'm fine if he just stays a silver. It was all selfish. I just wanted him to go gold to use him in BR. Shane Green gets a position change. Is he their closer now? Clippard, Betances, Garrett loses 2. That's our boy, man, but he's struggling. Hector Neris goes up. He gets +3. Sam Coonrod, I mentioned him earlier in the RP. He's been pitching well too. So they've got 2 guys right now. I know Coonrod got blitzed either yesterday or the day before. So Neris, he's got some leash on that job. But keep an eye on Coonrod, again, if you're speculating for saves in fantasy. The Alex Reyes fans are still going to be pissed, I bet. They've been asking the last couple updates, why isn't he going up? It's because he walks everybody. You can only go up so high, y'all. And if you cite his fucking ERA to me one more time, I'll probably do nothing but tell you that ERA doesn't matter for the roster updates. But please, y'all, stop citing ERA. It does not matter for the update. It can get you on the radar, right? If you have a really flashy ERA, I think it can like draw the attention of SDS if you're an under the radar kind of guy. Be like, oh, this guy has a 1.25 ERA or a 0.67 in Reyes' case. Let's take a look at him. But it does not fundamentally change anything on the card. It's about your core skills. And his core skills, he's great at suppressing hits and getting strikeouts. Terrible at limiting walks, and the strikeout rate is kind of new. That's why he's still only at a 73. But if he continues to strike out 12.3 per 9, he will inch up. But we got to get to silver before we can even talk gold, and silver's going to be hard without limiting the walks. So I wouldn't invest in Alex Reyes. I think you're wasting your time right now. Position change here, which is unfortunate because he actually got an upgrade, but he is their closer, and so he's only at 67 right now, which is tough. How is Dolis only a 65? I need to look this up real quick. You'll pardon me for the detour here. I mean, if you've watched any of these updates, you know there's always little detours to check stats and stuff, or to do a bit about Genesis Cabrera's glove, either or. Okay, so I grant that this year he's on his Alex Reyes walking bullshit. And I guess last year too at 5.3. Oh, fuck me. I just spilled my Red Bull. That's not good. That's not good at all. Ugh. And I don't have any napkins in here. Oh, that's fantastic. Do I have anything I can use? Son of a bitch. This is not a dirty sock. I don't think. But I can't stop the video to do it, so. We carry on, baby. Red Bull or not, we're moving. We're sticking and moving. Oh, I don't think these fucking ibuprofens are going to be any good. I'll eat one of them right now, I guess. I don't really have a headache, but they're going to go to waste otherwise, right? What happens if do they like lose their effectiveness if they like melt in Red Bull? Or do they become better? Do they become super pills if you douse ibuprofen in Red Bull? Could I be, y'all, if I fucking go ham the rest of this stream and I'm just like wired out of my mind and fucking tearing it up on MLB, then I'm dousing all my ibuprofens in Red Bull. Because it'll be a cause and effect. I promise. So, who can say for sure? Anyway, Dolly's probably, I think he still is a little underrated, but okay, whatever. Moving on to catcher. This is so bananas, and I'm so completely here for the Buster Posey rebirth, dude. This is so great. I cannot be convinced that the year off didn't do him some huge good, because this is incredible, man. I've made this comp before, so sorry if you've heard me say it a billion times, but this reminds me so much of Ricky Williams getting suspended for weed. Obviously, skipping out, or I don't want to say skipping out, that makes it sound negative. Sitting out because of the pandemic, and concern for his family is quite a bit different than getting suspended for weed. I grant that part. But the premise of missing a season in your 30s as like a recharge season, it strikes me that this had to have played a role for Buster Posey because he's back at Diamond. I mentioned the Matt Barnes thing about like how much could you have won if I told you that he might go Diamond this year. You could have won even more if I told you Buster Posey's going to go Diamond this year. You said, no way. You're insane. You mean a flashback Diamond? So this is awesome. I love this and I'm completely here for it. Keep going, Buster. Now, part of it is also that I have him on my main event team. I'm not going to front on y'all. and pretend like I don't have some skin in the game here, but I'm just loving this rebirth from him. It's just fun to see. Interesting little update here where 5 categories get touched, 3 down, 2 up, but the 2 ups are very big, so Will Smith still gets a +1. And as far as Diamond, I think we're still a ways away from talking about that. Perez gets nooched. Molina gets nooched. Grandal goes down because he's had such a weird season, y'all. He's getting on base 40% of the time, and he has a 144 average. Yes, they needed to give him a 125 discipline. That is exactly the right move. Good on you, SDS. Contreras goes down 1. Vasquez gets nooched. Vasquez is still just a hot streak away with like 4 homers in a 2-week span from getting gold. So if you're already invested in him, hold tight. If you want to get in, I bet the price is cheap right now because he has not been on the radar at all this year. Stallings is on the cusp. I don't know why people were convinced that he was going to go this week. And I know it's easy for me to say now because I have the answers in front of me, but that's what it was on my sheet too. I had him at a 79, and not to shade people in the community who do this because this is fun and we're all making our best guesses and everything. I didn't see what I was potentially missing for how he was going to get there. Based on what others were having with their numbers. So again, not trying to shit on anybody. I just thought it was going to be a 79 this week and then maybe 80 in the future here. If he continues to hit, here's the beauty about Stallings. His defense is so good that he does not need to hit off the charts to get to gold. If he maintains, this mid 700s OPS, I think he'll get there eventually. So stay invested in Stallings if you're there. Gomes gets nooched. The Yerminator gets nooched. Ramos, oh man. Has Ramos had a fall off or what? He popped 6 homers super early in the year, and I was desperately regretting not getting him on my main event team because he was one of my big targets. I got him on other teams, which was great until he's hit the skids. But he was a big target of mine because I was like, okay, Tigers are going to play him every day, and I still believe that he's a pretty good hitter. He wasn't very good last year, but I think he'll be fine. So he gets out of the gates just firing. 6 homers, just tearing the cover off the ball. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. The only thing is, I wish I had him in the main. Now he's hitting 200 with the same 6 homers, and now he has like a spine sprain. What the fuck is a spine sprain, dude? That's literally what it said on the RotoWire update yesterday. Spine sprain. That sounds awful, bro. That's like testicular torsion that Mitch Haniger had a couple years ago. Busted dick. I guess that'd actually be his testicles. What? Shut up, okay? Mike Zunino, get some Zunino hype in the chat. This is such a Zunino season to be just beasting with 11 homers, 558 slug, but a 212 average. That, and he's still got an average boost because he's crushing lefties. He's a god in this game, but he cost me money in a real life bet, a story I've told a million times. So fuck Zunino, but also not because he's awesome and I actually do like him quite a bit. I sports hate him. Garver gets a little love here. This is going to make him better in BR, no biggie. Pena goes up. Nice little upgrade for him. Mejia creeping. Leave it to Tampa Bay to unlock Mejia, right? I mean, he was a big prospect for Cleveland. Gets traded in the Brad Hand deal over to San Diego. And can't really get anything going. Gets traded to Tampa Bay and now creeping on an 800 OPS. We might finally see the Mejia that, remember that flashback that he got? He was one of the first future stars the game ever made. Switch hitting catcher, could play outfield and left as well. It was a really interesting card. If he'd have become that guy, that would have been amazing. But instead, we have a guy who's, starting to work his way into some usefulness. Barnes gets nooched. And then Sanchez. Hey, nobody cares about this because 2 reasons. One is we know that this card will still dominate in BR because it just doesn't matter. And 2, holy shit, did you see the new Diamond Gary Sanchez? Oh my God, dude. It is unbelievable. It's based on his second half from his rookie season, and it is just nutty. Thomas Nido gets a neato little upgrade, and I'll leave for saying that stupid, awful joke, and we'll go ahead and let the dogs take over because that was just terrible, and you guys don't want to hear from me anymore, and I totally get it. Just kidding. I'm not going anywhere. Psych. I was actually going to play that up and leave a big, blank in the YouTube video, but it wasn't a good enough bid, so fuck that. +1 for Tyler Stevenson, and William Contreras gets into bronze with a healthy little upgrade. If he keeps hitting like this, he'll get to silver at some point this year, but we're a ways out from that. Any new catchers? Jose Godoy, PJ Higgins, and Eric Haas. Yo, Haas is kind of intriguing. I think his power needs to be boosted. Honestly, I think the power and the contact should be flipped. I think he's a much better power guy, and his contact is going to be problematic. I will say, though, for fantasy purposes, catchers have been getting hurt left and right. Replacing them in 2-catcher leagues has been a nightmare. So if you are in a 2-catcher league of some depth, let's say 15 teams or deeper, consider Haas, because with Ramos out, he's going to play, and some of his off days have been spent in the outfield. So if you can get a catcher who doesn't always catch and can get some extra playing time elsewhere, that volume alone can be a boon compared to other second catchers who are mostly garbage. Vlad, and this was something that the community hit on pretty quickly, that Vlad was going to be close on skills alone because he was an 81, so he was 4 points away. But then chat brought up, well, what if he gets his position changed? And then I was sold that he was getting diamond after that. I only had him 84 on my sheet, but when we talked about it on the Tuesday night stream and then throughout the rest of the week, I was convinced that the position change was finally going to come and get him to diamond. And then these two were a surprise, but a very pleasant one. They were both on the diamond radar, but I didn't think it was going to be yet. And so I am freaking excited about this. Sorry, I skipped over to second baseman for some reason. But this is freaking awesome, dude. Matt Olson and Max Muncy both get fat upgrades to hit diamond, and first base is popping off with triple diamond action. Matt Olson has been just a monster throughout his career. He struggled with his batting average last year, but if you look, you saw that was just a 2-month blip that wasn't really going to hold. He's back up to 262 this year, paired with the fact that he's already got great power, good vision and discipline. Boom, diamond. This one is a transformation. Max Muncy's always been a G, whether it's since he broke out with the Dodgers, I should say, not always, but since he's broken out with the Dodgers, he's been a G in MLB The Show and in real life. But he's been more like a silver gold type with some flashback cards to get him to diamond. I think he had a player of the month and a finest, if I'm correct on that. And those cards were bangers too. But he was never quite good enough, usually in the batting average realm, to get to diamond with his live series. Fast forward to this year, my man is hitting 284 and has completely changed himself. Like, he was already a power stud with tons of skills, and now he adds the ability to collect base hits in there. Holy crap, dude. This is unbelievable from Muncy, and they give him the big love right away on that contact, and they get him to diamond. So hopefully you got in early on Muncy, because I thought he was going to go 84 this week, and then we were going to spend the next 2 weeks talking up his price to invest for June 11th. But they jump him this week, and frankly, I totally get it, because they're paying homage to that big batting average jump that is not only skills supported, but also just awesome to see from Muncy. Abreu gets nooched. Jared Walsh. There could be a lot of diamonds at first base this year, y'all, because I think Jared Walsh has a great opportunity to get there. You talk about somebody who totally changed themselves and became more of a contact hitter without costing them their power. That's Jared Walsh too. We saw it in a brief stint last year. It was a small sample though, so we had to see, how real is this? He's shown that it's very much real, and he's been a fucking monster for them. I just love that they're wasting another great player in Los Angeles. Thanks, Angels. Great work. Carlos Santana gets 2 more points. I don't really see diamond for him because, as you can see, that 44 contact against righties, until he fixes that, there's no chance at diamond. But Carlos Santana is having a great season. Rizzo gets nooched. Aguilar gets nooched. He's a recent gold. I love Aguilar. He's been great. Got him in a bunch of fantasy teams. But gold is his peak. I don't think he's going diamond at all. Luke Voigt gets hit off rip. Don't worry about it. Honestly, I wish they'd have gone -3 so that we could buy him back for gold. But that's fine. He's going to be fine. I'm not even 1% worried about Voigt. Hoskins goes down. Hey, if you're going to nooch him, just take him back to silver for BR purposes and then for reinvestment purposes. Hosmer goes -1. Wasn't Hosmer on the cusp of gold a while ago, and now he's getting -1? That's tough scene. There'll be a trash bag next time, I guess. Oh, this one hurts. But, I mean, he's hit the skids power-wise, so I totally get it. Keep CJ Cron and even Eric Hosmer, even though I don't like him. Keep them on your radar. They are very much hold for gold. And Ryan McMahon makes a big jump. He's been having a great season. 13 homers, as you can see. He needed some love. He gets into the silver realm in a big way to where now he's on the cusp for hold for gold. I mean, he is a hold for gold, but he's on the cusp to get gold. Zimmerman. Is Zimmerman playing himself into hold for gold? I'm seeing chat that's saying Voit went back on the IL, so that sucks. So that's probably why he was sucking too, is because he was still hurt. So I missed that news, but not like we were investing in him anyway as an 80. That just sucks from a real life standpoint because I love it. I love Luke Voit. Although I didn't get him anywhere in fantasy because he was so expensive this year. But let me look up Zimmerman real quick because he is playing his ass off. This is some Buster Posey shit because he also opted out. And a year off, freshen up your legs, get yourself going again, come out and destroy both righties and lefties. He has a 927 OPS against righties, 853 against lefties. He's been on fire. Yeah, he's very much in the hold for gold realm now. I did not think I'd be saying that this year either. Mancini, 2 points. We knew this is about where he'd go. I think this is exactly what I projected on my sheet. I had Mancini going to a 78. Very much a hold for gold. He's going to be an 8, 9, or 10 on my list next week when I update it. It's going to be high. Anything 8 and above is like, you need to start investing this moment. That was not a knock on the door. Oh my God, I just riled up both dogs like a dumbass. Nate Lowe gets nooched. Garrett Cooper gets nooched. Couple points for Fuentes. He can probably get to silver, but that's it. I'm not too sold on him. Seth Brown gets a little love. He can get to silver, but he needs to turn it back up. He's in a little bit of a skid right now. He's the same player as Mitch Moreland, Colin Weatherwax. That's right. I'm giving last names now. Pujols gets nooched going out to LA. Good for him. Oof. Tough to see there. Dahlbeck +1. Belt gets smoked because his vision just plummets. Yikes, dude. I mean, that's fine. It's not like we were like investing in him or anything, but damn, that's a hit. Mitch Moreland. Oh, speaking of. Oh, they're not the same player now because he's a 72 and Brown's a 73. Great. Colin's going to hold that over me. What a jerk. Sano gets nooched. He had that 3-homer game, but I mean, as you can see, he still has a sub 750 OPS. Mountcastle, Yandeezy, Mike Ford. Mike Ford, you know, obviously he got a downgrade here. He's not been playing that well, but I wonder if some added playing time could make him a potential silver. Obviously, he'd have to play a lot better than he is right now. I don't think it's worth investing in or anything. I just wanted to see what he's been doing. Oh, he was pretty shitty last year, too. No offense, Mike Ford. No offense. Yeah, I don't really see anything there. Never mind. Darren Ruff. Sorry, I got my cord caught on the headset there. Darren Ruff gets nooched, and then Andrew Vaughn actually loses one. Now, listen, I understand this. He has not been great. But if you've been watching the White Sox at all, you see that even his outs have been loud. My man is smacking the piss out of the ball. He's starting to find his footing in the majors. Now, do I think he's going to get to gold this year? No, that's a big, long shot at this point, unless he just goes ape shit in the summer against righties, because that's his biggest issue right now. But he can get to silver, and he can do it pretty quickly if he turns things around against righties. So that's all you have to look for with Vaughn if you want to invest in him as a save for silver. What's he doing against righties? He's hitting 205, 280, 284. Fucking awful right now. But as he figures them out, and I believe that he will, I'm fully bought in on Andrew Vaughn long term, meaning years, not necessarily for MLB The Show. This is more of a fantasy discussion than anything else at this point. But I am bought in on him for the long term. It might not come this year. Prospects don't always hit instantly. But keep a close eye on what he's doing against righties. You start to see that turn, then we can talk about him for silver. And then if he really turns, then maybe gold way down the line. Any new first baseman? Will Craig. Fielding should be like a 6, or his reaction should be a 6 at least. If you know, you know. But if not, look up Will Craig, Javi Baez, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, wait. Live Series D. Gordon wasn't in the game? Really? Huh. Okay, I didn't know that. Well, here's the new second baseman. I accidentally did that. Oh, sorry, Char. I moved my leg and she completely... Hey, this is why my lap is not the best place to lay, but by all means, commandeer my entire existence here, Char. Sorry. The cord also dangles, and if it, like, tickles her back, she flips shit. I'm like, well, how about this giant cushy bed that you could lay in, dog? Not hearing it. DJ LeMahieu goes down. He loses his diamond, and it makes sense. I got to be honest. Can you please just lay there? I'm going to wait for him to bottom out, and then I am going to invest on spec because I understand that he's not playing well right now, but I don't believe that this is like a comeuppance or like he was a fraud the last 2 years. I think he's just in a funk. And so I think he's going to get going. I think he's going to have a huge summer. And I'm going to wait until his price like really goes down. It'll take a few days, maybe even a week. But then I'm going to start to stow away a few LeMahieu's for the long term. Albies gets nooched. He's not going gold unless he hits, or diamond, excuse me, unless he starts really crushing righties. And that's a big ask. Merrifield goes down. Merrifield was on the diamond watch a while ago because he was playing well and he was only 2 points away. Now he's 4 points away. I think I have like 6 or 7. I'm probably going to use those for affinity exchanges right now. If he turns it back around and gets hot again, we can talk about him for diamond. But I'm going to go ahead and give up mine. These two were guys that the community was very hot on going gold. Joey Wendell and Adam Frazier. I only had Wendell getting to a 79. Excuse me. Happy to be wrong on that. They went ahead and give him the big updates against righties and a little discipline. I wonder if they had the plus righties and it got him to 79, and then they sprinkled that little discipline on to get him to gold. Which, by the way, I'd be fine with because he's been playing his ass off right now, and he may never be gold eligible again. So get him there while you can because he is just useless against lefties, and it's hard to get platoon players to the level change, as we saw with Winker until recently. Excuse me, I don't know where my voice is going. We're only on second baseman voice, and we're only 2 hours into the stream. I got 10 more, bro. Frazier was on automatic. The market was in on that for sure. Nooched for Wong. Nooched for Glabes. Chris Taylor. Nooch. +1. Oh, hey. Josh Harrison finally goes silver. Somebody in chat on the last update said they had like 300 Josh Harrisons and they were hoping he went silver. And then he didn't. And I was like, I felt really bad because I was like, damn. I thought he would definitely go up, and I understood why they were going for it, because I thought he was definitely getting an upgrade, and they freaking murked him. But this time they get there. He's been playing very well for the Nats. One of the few things going well for them. Wilmer gets nooched. A lot of it's vision and discipline, covering the fact that he lost a lot against righties. Profar could get silver, but who cares? VR nooched. Solak. Yo, my man Solak takes a hit. I guess he's hit the skids quite a bit lately because he was off to an excellent start at the beginning of the year, and I guess he has been pretty cold. It's been the Nate Lowe and Adolis Garcia show in Texas, which means Solak has been meh. He's still good on the season, but his last couple weeks, I'm looking him up right now. His last couple weeks have been a little janky, so I get it. Yeah, he's hitting one. Well, actually, roster update probably locked on Tuesday night, so we'll go back to that. Take off the last 2 games. He's hitting 214, 313, 405 in that time with a 276 BABIP and 1 homer. So it's just a cold streak. I'm not worried about it. I think he'll get back to silver, and I got a call for you. Nick Solak will go gold at some point this year. Book it. Done. Remember when Jed Lowry was the hottest thing going to start the season? He was playing his ass off, and he's regressed back to where he belongs, I guess. Garrett Hampson. I think Garrett Hampson will go silver at some point this year. That's not a huge call. That's only 3 points, but he's been playing all right. He's been a great fantasy player. 5 homers, 10 steals. Gavin Lux is starting to come into his own. As you can see, it's only a 686 OPS because it's really a short sample of quality work recently. But if he continues to play like he has been very recently, then he's going to go silver easily and even be a gold discussion in July, August. Our boy Brad Miller gets some love. This is excellent for BR. Make the card a little bit better, even though it wouldn't even matter if he was a common. I do think silver is possible. He's been killing it this year. And as you can see, he got boosts against lefties because he's actually been hitting lefties for like the first time in his career. I don't know if that will hold. It's hard to say because his career says no. But does it really matter? Because we already got a flashback diamond Brad Miller, and that's all we need. We just need Brad Miller to have a good run once a year to ensure that he gets some sort of specialty diamond, or they bring it back as a classic and then we're set. Like he had the Tops Now last year because he beasted out. This year, he gets the Player of the Month. We're all good. As long as we're getting a good Brad Miller card every year, I'm good. Best number 2 hitter in the world, Tony Kemp. If you know, you know. Brock Holt. Sam Haggerty. Oh, Mal's going to be irate that Sam Haggerty got smoked. Harold Castro gets a little love on his contact. He's a pure singles hitter. He can't really go much higher, even though he is hitting 335 with a 385 OBP. I already looked at the new second baseman. Let's go over to third. You guys are asking for a Nolan Arenado boost to 90 last time. He gets it this time as he's been just killing it lately. Couple neutral moves for the other diamonds here. Rendon loses diamond, and I get it. He's been struggling, but I'm absolutely, just like with LeMahieu, I'm going to wait for his price to bottom the hell out and then invest in him for sure. Because I'm not worried about Rendon. The only concern I would have is his health, which is kind of an ever-present concern because he does not have a very good injury history. But skills-wise, he's going to be fine. So just wait for him to bottom out. We'll invest, and then we'll wait to see how the summer plays out for Rendon. Donaldson loses one. He's been pretty cold of late. KB gets nooched. I mean, he's been awesome. I need to investigate further. I'm actually kind of surprised he's not a little bit of a higher gold. I thought he'd be knocking on the door of diamond at this point. And I guess if you're 3 points away, you technically are, knocking on the door, or at least calling and saying, I'm on my way. But he's been awesome. So I think if he continues to play like this, he's definitely going to go diamond. It's just a matter of time. Can Devers get diamond? I don't know because he doesn't have any defense or speed to kind of supplement his hitting. So it all has to come from hitting. Is there 4 points of growth here? Not without hitting against lefties, I'll say. Remember when Turner was absolutely out of his mind? You know what it reminds me of? Turner is this year's Charlie Blackmon so far. Remember when Charlie Blackmon was hitting like 500 for the first 2 weeks, and everyone's like, is he going to hit 400 for the first time, since Tony Gwynn? Or no, Tony Gwynn didn't get there. We're still waiting since Ted. It's like, but come on. That would not have been the same thing. You could not count that in the same realm as a full season of 400. But anyway, he completely fell off to the point where he ended up being like a bronze at the end of the year, I think. I don't think Turner's going to go down to bronze or even necessarily silver. But through the first 13 games of the year, he was hitting 426. Since then, in 34 games, he's hitting 193. So, I mean...
I'm great, Bob.
Anyway, continuing. Matt Chapman, oof. Now, this is the downside of somebody loses their diamond, we wait for it to bottom out, and then we try to invest. This could happen. They could continue to get worse. So it's no guarantee that Rendon or LeMahieu or other guys losing diamond will go back up. It's a risk like anything else. Chapman's definitely somebody I said, hey, when his price bottoms out, let's reinvest. I think he'll get back on track. He has not gotten back on track at all. In fact, I have some concerns now that maybe the hip is bothering him because it's been a while that he's been struggling. His LPS is down to 674, and I wonder if there's just some residuals from it or if it's just a cold streak, right? There's not always a clear narrative reason of injury or whatever. Sometimes it's just things aren't going well. Escobar gets nooched, and I did have him for gold. I got to be honest, I didn't factor in the vision and discipline issues that he's been having, and that's on me. I am still holding for gold, even with a 228 average. All it takes is a little hot streak with his batting average, and he'll get there. So the power's been there all year. 12 homers is awesome. So I just hold here, but I missed that one, and I apologize. Longo gets nooched. Riley goes to silver. Riley has gold potential, y'all. The batting average, this is kind of like a baby Max Muncy, where he was always kind of just a raw power guy. He's mixed in batting average this year, hitting 313 to go with his power. And now here we are sitting at 76. I think we're going to be knocking on the door of gold relatively soon. Moncada gets nooged. He's been up and down. I think you can take him out of the hold for gold realm right now. For example, I had some shares that I just did the affinity exchange for, and I think you can do that if you want to, because if he does start to get back on the gold radar, I think we'll have enough time to where we can reinvest. My boy BA loses one. He just hasn't been performing. Matt Duffy, a.k.a. Dat Muffy, has been whatever. He got 1+1. Who cares? Michael Franco, Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward, I've always liked him as a sneak BR pick because he has catcher eligibility. And if you draft one of those mega slow catchers, it's nice to have a backup. And if you can do that without taking like a actual catcher who can only play catcher and do nothing else, then it can be helpful. Ward can come in, be a little pinch hitter for you. He even has a little bit of speed. So he's actually kind of the perfect fill-in if you have like Yasmani Grandal in BR. You get into the third inning, Grandal gets a base hit, you're down one, you bring in Ward. Not only is he your pinch runner, but he's also your replacement catcher if you tie the game and have to keep playing. Jonathan India gets +1. He's been, he's had his hot streaks here and there throughout the season, but for the most part, sub 700 OPS, not much to write home about. Brandon Drury, there's a name. I could not have told you he was on the Mets if you had offered me $1 million. Michael Paez, do not know who that is, and Jordan Cowan. Good luck to all of them. Tatis gets +3. He is good at baseball. So there you are. That's my official analysis. Turner goes up another point. Bogey gets nooched, but he's already diamond, so we don't really care that much. Story loses one. They just came out with that news story. Holy crap, how good is that card? Segura goes +1. Now, could Segura go diamond? Not without power. I just don't see it without a real power spike or just an insane batting average spike. Like if he got his season average up to 360, 370 because he was just on a torrid 420 pace for like a month, then maybe he could touch diamond for a little bit. But I don't really see it otherwise. And because it would take some extreme that we don't expect, I would not invest right now. Baez gets nooched. Keep him on your radar because when he gets hot, we know how electric he can be. I don't think he's a diamond investment right now, but it turns quickly with somebody like Baez. Correa gets nooched, whatever. I'm not investing in him. I'd be more apt to invest of these four right here. This is the one I'd be most apt to invest in Semien. He's 3 points away, but he's playing his ass off in that Toronto lineup. We know he can be elite. We saw it back 2 years ago when he was third in MVP voting. So he's an absolute stud. I definitely think that if you're going to get on the ground floor of any of these for Diamond, make it be Semien. But we are still 3, maybe 4 updates away from that unless he really pops off. Bo Bichette gets nooched. I know people talk him up for potential Diamond too, and it's not out of the realm, but he just kind of needs to be better across the board, which, hey, he can be. We've seen him be great before, but he needs to kind of have like a 900 OPS. So he's still a good ways away from that. Tim Anderson loses one. His destined for Diamond is certainly taking a hit, and you can dump your shares of him right now too. Here we go. This is the same as the Matt Chapman thing and why you need to have some caution with like LeMahieu and Rendon. Guy loses Diamond, wait for his price to bottom out. He's going to rebound, right? Not so much with Lindor. He's been awful, and now he's on the cusp of losing his gold status. Yo, this is the sneakiest son of a gun here, man. 2 years in a row now, he's snuck gold, and I missed both times. And it's just because that batting average was there and a little power love, which I could have never seen coming. In fact, I didn't even know he had 4 homers. So I missed this one. I'm sorry. I don't hit every single one, and I own that. I missed on Iglesias completely. He wasn't even on my radar. IKF was, though, baby, even though he's a meme being used against me in the fantasy baseball community because I shit all over him on the In This League podcast. It was mostly because I was buying into the meme. Because if you really think about it, I was contradicting one of my biggest like fantasy things that I love, and I totally should have roasted myself for it. Basically, the point is that he qualifies at catcher on Yahoo, and I love non-catching catchers. I mentioned it with Eric Haas. Somebody who qualifies at catcher in fantasy but doesn't have to play the position and deal with the built-in off days and just the beating that you take is fantasy gold, even if they're not that good of a player, which he wasn't coming into the year. Well, so I was like, who cares if he's got catcher eligibility? He sucks, blah, blah, blah. Then, of course, he breaks out. So not only was I already wrong just as a general premise, but then he breaks out on top of my face. Fast forward, and every time he hits a home run, I get like 10 tweets from people saying like, what do you think of IKF now? But I used my misfortune in the fantasy realm to profit in the MLB The Show realm because I was heavily invested in IKF, and he goes gold for us this week. Miguel Rojas is very similar to Jose Iglesias in that he wasn't really on my radar, and he sneaks into gold. It's legit. I totally buy it. I just missed him because I wasn't really in tune with the fact that he was going to get a power upgrade to go with that batting average boost. Didi loses his gold status, which makes sense. He's been rough. So does Angelton. They can both get it back at some point this year, but we'll invest in them down the line if we see fit. Crawford is now very much in the hold for gold realm. You could put him right next to his teammate Posey and some of the other guys we've been talking about, like Ryan Zimmerman. If I told you before the year that Brandon Crawford was going to be a gold candidate starting on May 28th going forward, you would ask for some of those Red Bull coated ibuprofens that I've been taking, because those bitches are hitting. Because it would have been crazy. But here he is, hit with 11 bombs already, 874 OPS, just 2 points away. The easiest route would, of course, be a batting average flourish against lefties. That's unlikely, though. Can he still get there without that? Yes, but the power is going to need to maintain. That's going to be the biggest thing. If he continues to hit homers, even if he continues to not hit anything against lefties batting average-wise, he can still get there. So you can start getting your Brandon Crawford shares gathered up and just ride this out here. Freddie Galvis gets nooched. Swanson goes up 1. He's been a disappointment this year. I thought he was going to be a very good fantasy shortstop and a gold potential for MLB The Show. Right now, we're a while away from that, so I wouldn't even start getting cursory shares of him, but I am going to keep an eye on him. He's on my watch list again because he's finally starting to turn things around. Rosario, they brought out his future stars in the team affinity for the Mets. His old future stars, I mean. Obviously, because he's not on the Mets anymore. But he gets a neutral upgrade here. Ha-Seong Kim has been playing a lot with Manny Machado out. It's clearly not helping because he lost 2 points. JP Crawford +1. Cool. Ledmus Diaz nooched. Polanco -1. Eric Gonzalez. Our boy Chad. I almost said Chaz Chisholm. I almost spoonerized him, which you can barely tell the difference, but it's a distinct difference because then his last name becomes Chisholm. So you don't want to do that. Don't spoonerize Chaz's name. At any rate, he gets nooched here, but he's been out of his mind, and frankly, I think he should be silver very quickly. And if you want to do a long-term, get on the ground floor, hold for gold, Jazz Chisholm's an interesting guy. His skills are super dynamic. He's a little volatile because he strikes out a lot, but if you want to get in now, Gittin's going to be good because he's going to be super cheap. Luis Urias gets a +2. I don't think he's really got silver upside right now, though, so I wouldn't worry about it. Edmundo Sosa has been awesome. As you can see, he has a 909 OPS and 45 at-bats. Do I really believe it? Not really. So he gets bronze as he deserved, but that's about the end of it as far as where he's going to go. I think he could go higher within bronze, but I don't even think Edmundo Sosa is necessarily going to go silver. And by the way, I misspelled his name on the sheet. I called him Edmund Sosa, and I apologize. I don't like to get names wrong, so my bad. I corrected it, even though it was just on my personal sheet that you guys won't see. I still corrected it. And that's how much I care, okay? Owen Miller just recently called up for Cleveland. He's kind of a do a bit of everything, don't be a star at anything type of guy. So I think bronze is probably his max. We'll revisit if we need to. And nobody else here standing out. Braden Shoemake, you might remember, though, from his rookie card, or from his prospect card that he has. We'll see if there's anything that has him making noise as a rookie, but right now I wouldn't worry about him. No new left fielders. Soto loses one. I know he's not been, Juan Soto peak right now, but I'm not worried about him at all. Go knocking on some doors in your fantasy leagues, though, because you're not going to get him for cheap or even really a discount. But a discount for Soto is the fact that you could even trade for him, right? Because before, nobody would even talk about it. I think now you can at least have a conversation. You're still going to have to pay big, as you should, because he's an absolute god, and he's going to end up with an OPS in the 900s this year for sure. But at least see what's up. See where the price is at. Teoscar. Hey, Teoscar, mea culpa. I love you, dude. You're my guy. Was I very afraid that last year's surge was leading to an overpricing of him in the fantasy market because his strikeout rate was still way too high? Yes, and I expressed that in many pods and articles saying be careful with Teoscar. I even called him a bust in one article. What I did not factor in was that he was going to shave his strikeout rate down to 22.5, which is a very, very acceptable rate. It's downright good for somebody who was a career 32% mark coming into this year. So shaving it down 10 points and maintaining his power and hitting 313 average. Well, if I could have foreseen that coming, I wouldn't have shit on him. So, that I will take the L because I was wrong, but there was also skills change here. So you have to understand like where when you're taking the L, like where it comes from. Okay. Like in terms of saying that he was not going to live up to his draft value to this point, I was wrong on that, but nobody was saying, oh, he's going to change his skills too. So I know it just sounds like I'm trying to cover myself for getting an L, but I think if you just say, oh, you got an L, fuck you, and you don't talk through the process, it doesn't do any good. So there was a skills change here that we did not foresee. I'm happy with it. If it continues, he is a diamond candidate without a doubt. I don't know if it's 100% real yet, though, because he still has a 14% swinging strike rate. So just be careful. Don't go crazy on Teoscar. I love him. Great player. Super, super deserving to see him break out like this. And he's been a fantasy god with because he can run a little bit too. But do not go crazy and get like 500 shares of him. As my boy Al Smizzle says in the chat, context is important. So I always try to make it look like I'm not just trying to get myself off the hook, but I think it's fair to point out that there's a drastic skills change here that explains why he's way better than I thought he was going to be. Plus, I wasn't even alone in thinking that he would be overpriced with a top 100 pick. It was one of those ones, it's always tough to like go against a player that you like, but you have to be intellectually honest about their skills. And I love Teoscar. He was a great breakout last year, but I was just worried that too many strikeouts was going to put him right back to where he was the year before, which was when he hit 230 with 26 homers. So hopefully this continues. Hopefully we get Diamond Teoscar, but it probably won't be until like the All-Star break, if not a little later. Winker got his love, and you know what it took? A little bit of love against lefties, because as a strict platoon guy, I know everyone was mad that he didn't get their last update, but it was, and I had him as gold too, so I was right there with you. I was like, dang, I thought he was going to get there on the strength of his versus righties alone. But when you looked at it, I understood why, because he was so bad against lefties, and he doesn't offer any defense or speed to kind of protect him a little bit. But like I said, he got that home run and a double against lefties. He's now hitting 273, 351, 394, which is not great, but it's certainly better than what he had been doing. And now he gets to 81. And I will say this, do not even consider Diamond unless he starts to consistently hit lefties, which I just don't think he's going to do. So take your gold, get your profit, and we'll revisit him if he continues to hit lefties, because I just don't see it. Ozuna gets the double whammy. Not only does he get a downgrade, but he also gets hurt. At least he'll freeze here at gold for now, but he's going to be out for a while. He hurt his fingers really bad on a slide. Rosario loses 2 points, loses his gold status. Frazier gets nooched. Benny gets 2 points. Benny should go silver at some point this year. If you see that as an interesting investment, then you can go for that. But beyond that, I don't really see it, because he just doesn't have enough power to go gold, in my opinion. Bald-headed fuck gets smoked. I wish Dolly Bama was here to see how bad this guy is. How did Grossman not go up? I mean, he went up +1, but how did he not go to silver? What am I missing here? I'm pulling his numbers up. I got to do it. I got to look. Why didn't my boy? I'm a Tigers homer, obviously, but that's not why I care about Grossman going silver. I just thought he had enough heat to get there. Okay, I guess it's okay. You know what? I stand corrected. I didn't realize he had just a 408 slug. That's pretty unimpressive, and so you can't give any power to that. So I get it. I get it. We'll keep an eye on him, and if the power goes up, where he could have gone up though, which they don't even show that rating on this page. What about his stealing? He's 7 for 8 this year, and he was 8 for 9 last year. I don't know where his stealing rating is. Maybe it's already at like 95. I also don't even know how much it moves the overall, but it's made him a fantasy god because he has 5 homers and 7 steals, and he was a waiver pickup in most leagues. Young Jock, look at that contact boost. Not that he's ever needed it for his card to be a god in MLB The Show. Rojas moves up. He's starting to inch his way up. Rojas is a definite silver candidate with gold possibility, but we will talk about that down the line. Let's get him to silver first. Schwargod gets nooched. David Dahl gets -3. Don't care. I'll still use him in BR. That he's got one of those clean swings that just hits no matter what his ratings are. Garlic gets nooched. Any new left fielders? None. Jones Highway. This is my guy. Tell me that name is not Jones Highway. There's nothing else to call him. So on the podcast, we call him Jones Highway. And that should be his nickname. That should be his actual name. I don't know. Hang on. I'll tell you what BREF thinks it is. Listen, okay? Baseball Reference is a good website. I respect everything they do. Janeshwi? Who are you kidding? It's Jones Highway. And I'm not accepting anything else. Okay, Jones Highway in the cut. Ian Miller and Bryce Johnson, those are the new center fielders. Acuna gets nooched because he's only hitting like 258 against righties or something, so they hit him pretty hard there. Whatever, he's still going to be a god. Laureano is our next big diamond candidate. He's 1 point away, and he's having a very good season. Keep a very close eye on him. Grisham definitely has some diamond capability. He needs to stay healthy, though. Didn't he just go on the IL? So for now, don't go crazy in investing because we got to get him healthy again. But when he comes back, he's going to be very much in focus for diamond capabilities. Rosarena gets nooched. I think I had him going for like a point or 2 upgrade. Did I? Oh, no, I didn't. I'm a genius. Oh, wait, no, that was the last update. Fuck me. I think I did have him. Yeah, I had him for 2 points. Idiot. Absolute moron. No, I thought he was going to get some love, but he ends up getting nooched here. All good. As long as he keeps hitting, I think he's going to creep his way to an 83, 84, and then we're going to have to wait and see as far as diamond goes. I think he's tracking near base price, which is 1,000 for quick sell. So anything 1,200 and under is basically a free investment. I know it's technically not, because if you bought a bunch at 1,200 and you had to quick sell them at 1,000, you'd lose 200 stubs. But that's a pretty low risk investment for somebody who should at least get to 83, 84 at some point in the year, which means he'd probably be like a 3,000 stub silver, and you could sell at that point and take your profit. But he does have diamond capability. We saw him get there last year. We know what he can do. If he's tracking under 1,200, get your Rosarenas and just keep him for a rainy day. Pollard goes +1. He has gold potential, but it's not there yet, and this was a pretty big upgrade. So he needs to have a big 2 weeks to go gold, and we'll keep a close eye on him. He's going to be like an 8 on the Hold for Gold page, and that'll be out next Monday or Tuesday for my subscribers. Twitch.tv/Spore. Always be plugging. Oh, am I Jarvis Johnson now? Margot gets nooched. Canha gets +1. Should have been +12. Should have been +12. I don't want to hear anything else. I don't want to hear anything else. No, I'm just a huge Mark Canha fan. Big fantasy player for me this year that I had to get in like every league. As you can see, he's got 6 steals too. That's been huge for his fantasy purposes because he was not expected to be anything steals wise. I was buying a guy who hits at the top of a good lineup with some good power. And if he sprinkled in a handful of steals, like he had 4 last year in 59 games, 3 the year before in 126. So I had no expectations for his steals. And he's got 6 already. Sign me up, baby. I love Mark Canha. I do think Mark Canha can get to gold this year. I think it'll be on the power. I was going to say on the power of his power, because I meant to say on the back of his power. But yeah, the power will drive it, because he's not a huge batting average guy. You see he got some love against righties because he is hitting 281 against them, but he's only at 246 against lefties. He's one of these guys, he gets deep into counts to take his walks, not a huge base hits type of guy. He's there to hit for power and get on base via the walk. And apparently steal bases. Brian Reynolds gets nooched. Whatever. As far as his gold prospects, I don't really see them because he doesn't hit for power. And I think this is kind of where he maxes out, somewhere in the 76 to 78 range. Unless he hits a random power spurt. Nooched for Pilar. -1 for Robles. +1 for Naquin. Damn, he gets +1 despite getting crushed on contact against lefties. That tells you how the other stuff played pretty well from. Oh, big discipline upgrade. Okay, cool. Said the Entertainer gets some love. This is my shirt from RotoWear. Highly recommend. Not an ad, but I love them, and I highly, highly recommend you go check out their shirts. RotoWear, ROTOWEAR.com. They have awesome stuff. They got an MLBPA license this year, so they can do actual stuff like this where they use the player and their picture and everything. They're awesome. So again, not an ad, but I'd promote them no matter what. Don't need anything to promote them. They're freaking awesome. Michael Taylor loses his silver status because he has hit the skids. Jonathan Daza. You see the big contact boost because he's been collecting a bunch of base hits, but he's a pure singles hitter. He's kind of like a faster, better defense Harold Castro, who I mentioned earlier, meaning this is probably his peak. He could sneak to silver maybe if he continues to hit against right-handers with his batting average, but it's not really an investment worthy opportunity. Guillermo Heredia gets big love against righties, so he moves up to a 72. Cool. Brett Phillips, friend of the stream, doing his thing out here, going to 72. Still a great bench player in BR because of that defense and speed. JB Jizzle -3. Oof. Where are all those people? Let me see if I can find those people who told me that Avisel Garcia wouldn't play because of Jackie Bradley Jr. Let me see if I can find those folks. Let me try to call them. Hey, dickheads. Are you guys still there talking about Jackie Bradley Jr. and how he's going to play over Avisel Garcia? No, you're not. Fuck you. I didn't call anybody there, guys. That was a fake phone call. Oh, I'm losing my mind. Miles Straw -2. Cool. Kelnick +1 to a perfect rating despite hitting 145. I think this was just kind of balancing out his initial card a little bit. Obviously, he's not doing anything special with his numbers to merit an upgrade. He's just going to kind of sit here at 69 until we see something. You do not have to invest in him yet. In fact, he's probably still too expensive for a bronze because he's a relatively new card. Steven Duggar and Akil Badu. Badu's turning it back around, y'all. I know he's had an up and down kind of season. Remember, he was like the flavor of the first couple weeks. Everyone was like, who's this Akil Badu guy? It was a lot of fun. He was absolutely destroying. But he was kind of like Adolis Garcia, where the strikeouts and walks, or lack of walks, but the strikeouts were like, okay, this is going to come crashing down. And it did in a very big way. In fact, I'm going to pull up what I wrote about him today in the watch list to give you an idea of my thoughts on him a little bit and the levels that he's had. But he's turned it around, and look at the +12 discipline because his walk rate has gone through the roof. So Badu opened the year with a 1054 in his first 14 games, 1054 OPS. Then he had a 290 OPS, not a 290 OBP, which would be shitty enough, a 290 OPS in his next 12 games. And everyone was like, okay, that was a flavor of the month mirage. He sucks now. Over his last 11 games, he's back up to a 1043 OPS, including a 29% walk rate and 25% strikeout rate. Those are both very good. 25% strikeout rate, still like, a quarter of the time that you're striking out, still a little high. But in today's game, if you're delivering power with it, you can live with that. Obviously, a 29% walk rate is obscene and it's not going to hold, but it shows that he's changed his approach. Bottom line here, what's this mean for us? For one, in fantasy, I think you can start to pick him back up in shallower leagues like 12, 14 teams, even 15 teams if you hit the waiver wire. And then for MLB The Show, I think it brings silver back into possibility here. If he continues to hit like this while still displaying power the way he is, then I think he's eventually going to meander his way into silver. Any new right fielders? No. All right, so we're going to finish up here with right field. Aaron Judge has been doing Aaron Judge-like things. He has another +2 up to a 91. Castellanos gets to diamond. We had this one. This was one of our 3. I only went 2 for 3 on my picks, though. I had Lance Lynn getting there. He did not. And then the other diamonds that got there, I had as 84s in Vlad, Muncy, and Olsen. So, hey, I'm happy to be wrong when I come in a little light on somebody. But Castellanos, we did have for a diamond. He gets there with the +2. We saw this last year. Remember, he started off brilliantly. He got to diamond very quickly and then slowly just went down, 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 unfortunately. This year, he started slowly and now he's working his way up. We know he can be a beast hitter. He's been awesome. And he gets the diamond that he deserves. -2 for Harper, and now he's on the IL, so this is kind of a bummer. Obviously, he'll hold diamond while on the IL, but if he comes back and is crappy for the first 2 weeks when he returns, he'll probably lose his diamond status, but they will give him some runway with that. Make no mistake about it. Nelson Cruz gets nooshed. I'm out on Nelson Cruz shares, y'all. We tried it again earlier this year. He's just not getting diamond anytime soon. And if you have shares, use them for team affinity. Joey Gallo -1. I mean, he's going to live, in like the 79 to 83 range. I just don't think he'll ever really have enough to get diamond. But I do think he'll live kind of in this low gold, high silver range. Yo, they gave Adolis the big love, dude. I hit him with the 4-point boost to 78 because I'm like, he has to get silver and has to get right on the cusp of gold. They said, no. Cusp schmusp. Let's go right to gold. And in a Dylan Bundy-esque move, for only the second time ever have we seen somebody go from bronze to gold. Last year it was Bundy. He went 74 to 80. This year it's Adolis Garcia. And listen, even though I am skeptical on how well he can do long-term, how long this can hold, I absolutely believe that he deserves what he got here. I'm totally fine with the SDS doing this. And he's actually started to cut into his strikeout rate. That's my biggest concern, as I've probably mentioned like 10 different times on this video here. That's been my concern about him, is that he strikes out a ton and he doesn't walk much, which that doesn't inherently mean that you can't be successful. But it is a great indicator of your plate skills, and it can be kind of a volatility index. Guys who can walk, when they hit those cold streaks, they're still getting on base with the walks. So they can still steal bases, they can still score runs, they can still make some things happen. They're still producing on some level. When you strike out a shit ton and you don't walk, your cold streaks are very cold. And that's what I've been concerned about with him. He just hasn't hit a cold streak yet this year, though. He's been an absolute stud. And this has been so fun to watch. His strikeout rate is down to 25% since May 14th. Or since May 13th, the last update. I know it was on the 14th, but the roster locked before that. And he didn't play on the 12th. So consider that it was at 31% before that. So he's cut it down 6 points. 25% is very manageable in that time. I can certainly live with that. Let me see what his walk rate's been in that time. I don't know if he's walking more or not. No, absolutely not. 5%. So he doesn't walk, okay? But again, walks do not guarantee success. Like, you don't have to walk to be a good player. I keep an eye on those things because they are good indicators of how well you can perform. Again, especially in those cold streaks, and how well you own the plate, so to speak, how your plate skills are. Adolis Garcia goes gold here. Can he go diamond? I don't think so, but I'm done outright doubting Garcia, okay? I believe in the power for sure. Where I think he'll probably go down, both for fantasy and for MLB The Show, and he'll probably end up losing gold at some point this year, that's still going to be my bet, is the batting average. I think he'll wind up with a batting average somewhere in the high 240s, low 250s by season's end, but I do believe that the power is legit. So all that said, I love that he went gold here, even though I wasn't super invested in him. I love the aggressive move that they did here because he's been one of the best players in baseball. Kyle Tucker gets there. I was hoping for this one to come through. He's been kind of living on that cusp now for, the last couple updates, and he hits gold for us. So that's huge. We were invested in him early this year. Our boy Yaz loses it. All this does is create a buying opportunity. Let his price bottom out. We'll get in when that happens, because I think he'll get back to gold at some point this year. He is struggling. He deserved this. I'm not shading SDS for making this move. I'm just saying it's going to create a buying opportunity for us down the line. Getting Gritchy with it goes +1. He's sitting now right on the cusp of gold. He could get there. I was never super confident that he was. He just strikes me as a high silver. He's kind of like a perfect high silver. Speaking of Avisail Garcia, I mentioned him earlier. He's starting to get his bat going a little bit because he's playing over Jackie Bradley Jr. And listen, I know that Yelich and Kane have been hurt at times to keep Avi in regardless. But my point was, I just didn't like when people were telling me, like, dude, why are you propping up Avisail Garcia? Why are you buying him in fantasy when Jackie Bradley Jr. there? As if Jackie Bradley Jr. is like this roadblock to playing time for anybody. He is an elite defender in center field, which is great. But he's a bad hitter. Like, he's a 91 career OPS plus. That's 9 points worse than league average. Like, come on. Hunter Renfroe, whatever as far as this update goes. I just want to gush about the diamond card that he has, or the gold card, excuse me. It has diamond hitting. It's amazing. I love that Hunter Renfroe card. It actually might have gold hitting and diamond fielding now that I'm thinking about it. But either way, you should draft it every time it comes up in BR. Any gold event or any event that has gold cards in it, play Hunter Renfroe. And little sneak tip, you can play him in center if you want. Usually you wouldn't put a slower corner outfielder in center field because you're nervous about the speed aspect of it. His defense is so good, and he has a little bit of speed on that gold card. Like, it's like a 67 or something, or like a 62, to where you can actually play him there. I did for a whole BR run, and he was a god out there, or an event run, I should say. Anthony Santander, is he back? Is Santander back? I missed it because I didn't get him in any fantasy leagues this year. He was going right around a lot of outfielders that I liked. Oh, he's back. Let's go. He's been back for a minute. Yo, sorry, I've been sleeping on Santander. My bad. He's been back for 23 games. I completely missed that. Oh, no, okay, wait, no. He left on April 20th. He's been back for 8 games. Okay, cool. I thought I was way out of it. I was like, I watch baseball every day. I look at every box score, and I still missed a week of games, but I was worried that I missed like fucking 28 games from him, or how many was it? 23 games. No. I only missed 7. He's been back for a week. Still roastable. It's still roastable that I missed it, but it would have been crazy if I missed 23 games. He is crushing since returning, by the way. 400, 419, 700 with a homer in 31 plate appearances. He is absolutely going to make his debut on the Hold for Gold list next week, and he's going to be an 8. Our boy gets snooched here. This is a tough one, y'all, because he was playing so well for the first part of the update period that I thought he was a damn near lock, and I gave him gold on my sheet. I knew that he was starting to sputter toward the finish line, but I thought he had done enough to still get there. I'm not giving up. I recommend that you hold as well. It's obviously up to you. It's your stubs. It's your portfolio. But I'm still sticking with him. Excuse me. I knew a hiccup was coming. If you look at it, like around May 22nd was when I kind of started to formulate the first run of the update list, which was on Saturday. And he had 3 homers and a 571 slug to that point for the update. So I was like, I think that's going to be enough, even though the batting average was a little light. Turns out the batting average just hurt him too much, so he gets nooched. Just sit tight, though. He's healthy and playing remarkably well. I think gold is a matter of time as long as he continues to stay healthy. Duvall gets nooched. I mean, he's got great power, but we know, 210 average, 52 strikeouts. Contact is probably just going to prevent him from getting the 4 points to get to gold. I would not invest in Duvall. Big injury hit Franmil, and he gets nooched. Sell your Franmil shares. Little nooch move here for Carlson. He's 5 points away, but you guys know if you've been following any of my work that I love Dylan Carlson. Just as a player, I think he can be Rookie of the Year this year, although Trevor Rogers is going to have something to say about that. But he's going to be a premier candidate. He's been playing well. I think he's a big hot streak away from reaching gold. I would get in now. I've actually just held my bronze shares, and I'm just riding it out for the entire season. So he's still going to be like a 6 on the hold for gold list because he's 5 points away. But I'm getting in early. I'm going to continue to add shares. And like I said, the ones I invested in for bronze, I'm just holding those over. Home stretch here. Jason Hayward down, Slater down, Adam Eaton smoked. He got off to a fast start where he had like 3 homers in his first, 20 games or whatever it was. And it's like, okay, this is a little power blip. I don't think this is some sort of power surge. And I was like, if they don't get him gold here soon, when that was happening, then he's not going to get it. And lo and behold, he's gone completely the opposite way, and he's been a disaster. Piscotty gets nooched, and DJ Stewart gets -1. He's actually been hitting better of late, though. I don't think he's necessarily going to do anything for our purposes in MLB The Show, but for fantasy purposes, if you are in a deeper format where somebody like DJ Stewart could be useful as a streamer against righties, keep an eye on their schedule. When they've got 5-6 righties in a given week, DJ Stewart's an interesting play, especially as it heats up at Camden. Dude has legit power. So I'll just say that on the fantasy landscape. So there it is. Perfect timing, too, because Jen just got back. So now I have to go back to being a little bit quieter and screaming about everything. But that's the roster update for the update number 3. SDS had a banger of an update. All the new diamonds, all the new golds, hopefully all cashed in. If you're watching this on YouTube, come through to the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Spore. If you are a subscriber to the channel, you can get the full update sheet, which has all my picks. I also do a video every other Tuesday for everybody, which contains usually like 40-50% of that list, because I know not everyone can sub, and I still want other people to be included. And hopefully you're making mad stubs out here, because they've given us a lot of opportunities to do so. Thank you so much for watching.